The Maldives. For many, the name conjures images of perfect overwater bungalows, crystal-clear lagoons, and absolute unmatched luxury. It's marketed as the ultimate tropical escape, a place where your biggest worry is deciding which cocktail to order next. But beneath the surface of this glittering facade lies a complicated nation, defined by a unique history, a strict culture, and an existential fight for survival against time itself. Today, we're exploring the true Maldives, the lowest and arguably most vulnerable nation on Earth. Located southwest of India and Sri Lanka, the Maldives isn't a single landmass but a tapestry of nearly 1,200 coral islands organized into 26 breathtaking atolls. Stretched across the Indian Ocean for over 800 kilometers, its land area is minuscule, barely 300 square kilometers. Yet its maritime territory is vast. Its most defining characteristic, however, is its height or lack thereof. The Maldives is the flattest country in the world, with an average elevation of only 1.5 meters above sea level. Its highest natural point scrapes just 2.4 meters. In a world of rising oceans, this simple fact is terrifying. The very formation of these islands dictates their survival. Because they are made of coral, there are no rivers or natural lakes. Water security relies entirely on desalinated seawater and captured rainwater. And those iconic white sands that attract millions of visitors? They're a natural wonder in themselves, formed largely by parrotfish grinding down coral and excreting it as sand. A single parrotfish can produce hundreds of pounds of sand every year. If you're lucky enough to visit Vaidhu Island at night, you might even witness the rare magic of bioluminescent plankton, turning the waves into a shimmering, glowing blue spectacle that looks like something out of a fantasy film. Culturally, the Maldives is as unique as its geography. It's an Islamic republic, where Islam is not just the official religion but a constitutional requirement for citizenship. Daily life operates according to conservative Islamic principles. While the tourist resorts exist in a kind of bubble, offering an escape from these rules, local islands maintain strict norms. When visiting a local community, public dress requires covering shoulders and knees, and alcohol is universally banned. The weekend follows the rhythm of Islamic practice, falling on Friday and Saturday, a clear sign of how deeply faith is integrated into the nation's fabric. The official language is Devehi, written in the unique Thana script, but English is pervasive, especially in the booming tourism industry. Economically, the country rests heavily on two pillars: fishing and tourism. For centuries, fishing was the lifeblood of the islands, but the explosion of luxury tourism has completely transformed the job market. Jobs in resorts are highly coveted, often paying significantly more than government or other local positions. This is largely thanks to service charges and tips, which can add up to substantial amounts each month. While the local currency is the rufiya, the US dollar is the unofficial standard of transaction across the entire resort sector, a clear indicator of tourism's economic dominance. The history of the Maldives is a rich narrative of conversion and resilience. Originally settled around the 5th century BC by peoples from India and Sri Lanka, the islands were predominantly Buddhist for centuries. You can still find archaeological remains that point to this heritage. But everything changed dramatically in 1153 AD when the last Buddhist king converted to Islam, ushering in the era of the Sultanate that would define the country for nearly 800 years. The Maldivians showed their fierce independence by fighting off a brief Portuguese occupation in the 16th century, led by the national hero Muhammad Thilafushi. They later became a British protectorate in 1887, before finally achieving full independence in 1965, but today, those historical battles pale in comparison to the environmental crisis now unfolding. As the lowest-lying country in the world, the Maldives is ground zero for climate change. Rising sea levels pose an existential threat. Scientists warn that the majority of the islands could be submerged within decades. It's not a distant threat. It's a present reality. Coastal erosion is already dramatically reshaping shorelines, forcing the government to invest heavily in expensive and often disruptive seawalls just to protect precious land from being washed away. Adding to this dilemma is the monumental challenge of waste management. With thousands of visitors arriving daily and a growing local population, the country produces tons of garbage. Where does it all go? The answer is an artificial island named Thilafushi, literally a floating landfill. Hundreds of tons of trash arrive here every single day, creating a toxic, polluting scar on an otherwise pristine environment. It's the ugly hidden secret behind the luxury experience, a stark reminder of the environmental cost of mass tourism. Yet, despite these massive threats, the spirit of the Maldives endures. You can see it in the traditional dhonie boats, which for centuries were built without a single nail, held together by rope. You can see it in the intricate coral architecture of the Hukuru Miski Mosque, a centuries-old monument to ingenuity and faith. The nation's commitment to protecting its marine life is also evident. In 2010, they banned manta ray fishing, recognizing the greater long-term value these gentle giants hold for ecotourism. The Maldives is a paradise, but it's a fragile one, existing on borrowed time. It is a striking real-world example of the global climate crisis made manifest, where culture, history, and incredible natural beauty are locked in a desperate race against the tide. The question is no longer if the islands will disappear, but when and what the world will do to help save the lowest nation on Earth. Thanks for watching. If you found this story important, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the places and cultures that shape our world.